Let's check in with Roberta Gonzalez in the East Bay, where floodwaters are rising. Roberta?
It's not just the rivers that are rising across the Bay Area, Michelle. No, we are here in Pleasanton in a parking lot of a grocery store. I have to tell you, I've lived here 17 years, and besides our El Nino year of 1997, 1998, have I ever seen such widespread flooding across the town. In fact, I brought out this measuring tape here just to see how deep it is here, and it's over 1.5 feet of ponding on this particular roadway. And this has been crazy. I have to tell you, I started hearing the raindrops on my rooftop right after midnight, and this rain has not let up. It's all caused by that area of low pressure that's tapping into subtropical moisture due west. It causes what we refer to as a training effect. The rain just keeps steadily moving in. And as Lawrence was alluding to, we have more rain coming. So what are they doing here in the Bay Area now? They're turning on the drains, and they're starting to try to get all of this water out of this particular parking lot before more water moves back in. Now, if you want to just see how much more rain is going to be moving into your neighborhood, it's so easy. All you have to do is check out our live high-def Doppler radar at cbssf.com/weather, and you can even maneuver the radar around a bit and see how it is shaping up in your particular neighborhood. But again, we have more happening in and around the Bay Area. This is mobile weather right now here in the East Bay, but let's go to Kate Kugaran in San Francisco.
And as we get a wide picture there of what the plume of smoke is doing, let's go to Roberta and find out, boy, that is really looking more like a kind of a I hate to use that term, mushroom cloud, though, Roberta.
Yes, absolutely. And this is because we were talking about the shift in the wind, primarily blowing out of the north up to about 10 miles per hour. And now that official sunset has occurred at 8:13, we have the winds rotating around, fluctuating, should be a little bit more sustained as we lose all sunlight out of the southwest, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. But that's because, wow, these winds fluctuating around. This is why we have kind of, as Alan was alluding to, this mushroom effect plume of cloudiness here on a completely cloudless day in San Francisco, where we lacked any kind of low clouds and fog. Now we're under this big giant plume, dark cloud over the eastern portion of our Bay Area. When the winds were blowing out of the north, that's what was driving this plume towards the North Oakland Hills. And that is why now OPD has issued a community advisory in place. So if you are in that particular area, we're not saying you have a shelter in place, just be advised of the situation. You may start smelling something. You may even be the recipient of some of the ash fallout from this particular plume. But meanwhile, while the winds do rotate out of the southwest, we're saying blowing out of the south and the west, then it'll blow more of this activity and just spread it all over Rodeo, Pinole, Hercules, Bayview, Terra Hills. So you are probably smelling this and seeing this as well. Now remember, some of this ash, depending on the chemical, can be heavier in weight than air. So if you are shelter in place, you're not going to want to go to a basement. You're going to want to go into an interior room that is hopefully windowless. If not, then you get out the duct tape and you secure your premises. And also, after day to day, not a hot day in Richmond, but it was about 70 degrees. Some people may opt for air conditioning. Please do not use your air conditioning at this particular time in Richmond, North Richmond, West Richmond, or also El Cerrito, where we do have these shelters in place. I'm getting a little bit of feedback from people in Pinole as well, the recipient of this big dark cloud as well. Oh, and downstream here, you got to remember, we have Oakland International Airport. I took a look at the FAA side. I'm not seeing any problems with arrivals or departures at this particular time, but you got to keep in mind, this plume of smoke has got to be an eyesore. It could actually cause limited visibility for some of the pilots. So we're going to stay on top of the possibility of any kind of airport delays. I also took a look at Bay Area Air Quality District, and so far they haven't issued any kind of unhealthy air quality reports. You know, they're the first ones to say it's a spare the air day. This cannot be doing good things for our air quality at all. So again, we have the plume of smoke right now over the Richmond area, just about the entire Central Bay Area at this time. And Alan, the winds are currently rotating out of the southwest. Now that the sun is going down, we're talking about these winds increasing 10 to 20. But another thing to keep in mind, a lot of the time where you have that initial blaze, fire generates their own winds, as they do forest fires, right? And so those winds are going to continue to fluctuate until we're able to knock down this blaze.
Roberta Gonzalez is reporting live, and you had a pretty fun day today.
I had an excellent day. I've had a great week, Paul. Can we just get that straight? Whenever you have Fleet Week, it's all good. Today, Mobile 5, we jumped on over to Oakland at Landmark Aviation because this is the spot where all the Fleet Week pilots gather to go over their flight plan. When we arrived, we noticed that the clouds broke up a lot sooner today than yesterday, so that was perfect timing to jump on board an aerobatic plane, and you at home get to go along exclusively for the ride seen only here on CBS 5.
I need to put this parachute on you.
Thank you. You are fabulous. You're absolutely fabulous. And now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to do a little.
Oh my goodness. Very cool.
Pilot Mike Wickus tells me that if those clouds right there stay at 1,000 feet, no problem for flying over the weekend. Any lower than that, it could become a little bit problematic for all pilots. That's a look at mobile weather for this Friday night. Eyewitness News returns. We'll be right back.
And now from the CBS 5 Weather Center, you ask and you shall receive. Friends from my Facebook page, they sent in storm pictures. This one right here of the storm clouds gathering in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Thanks, Matthew Kirk. And also, take a good look at this. Esmeralda Galvin took this picture outside of a Target store in Gilroy. Yes, that's up to quarter-size hail that fell from a thunderstorm. And right now our live high-def Doppler radar picking up a cell of activity right there just off the coast. It was just sitting pretty over the Moss Landing area, dumping copious amounts of rain. Here is yet another cell containing some pretty moderate rain around Castle Ranch State Park. And we do also have now the development of some light rain showers. It began in the Brentwood and Antioch area, and now we can clearly see it dissipates as it moves into Walnut Creek, falling apart. That's certainly good news with the direction it's moving, or it would be making tracks towards the Oakland Coliseum. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies at the baseball game and throughout much of the Bay Area. Into the 50s and 58 degrees currently in Oakland, 66 in Mountain View. Now tonight overnight, the showers diminish, temps into the 40s and 50s. Looks like we will see a scattered shower throughout the early evening hours, then tapering off, but we'll keep a shower possible for tomorrow morning's commute. And oh, never too early to start talking about the weekend. Wait till you see that 7-day forecast. This interesting doings. We've been talking about this area of low pressure for a good week, still rotating just off the coastline, sending the rain showers from a counterclockwise position from the south up into the Bay Area in a northerly direction. Very unstable air mass, so our futurecast places a slight chance of a couple of raindrops in the morning commute forecast. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. And then we start to see a westerly wind kick in during the afternoon hours, so we stay socked in along the immediate seashore. Temps going down tomorrow in comparison to today. 50s at the beaches, 60s peninsula, including Belmont, Millbury, and South San Francisco. Upper 60s pretty common across the Santa Clara Valley, including the Almaden Valley. Up to 70 degrees apiece in Disco Bay, also Antioch, Brentwood, Tracy, Oakley, Danville, and then also the Blackhawk area. Upper 60s in Santa Rosa through Cotati. Again, the westerlies up to 20. Pretty vigorous winds during the late afternoon hours. There's your extended forecast. We'll keep the clouds around on Friday, then that low finally ejects to the east, leaving us with sunny skies over the weekend, and then much warmer conditions by this time next week. And that is your Pinpoint Forecast.